folks. I'm Tom Vasel.
Zee Garcia, how are you, folks?
Damn, Healey, what's up?
Pretty soon, the first 5 minutes of each show is going to be Sam introducing himself.
It won't be 5 minutes.
All right. Anyhow, this is the first time that we have redone a top 10 list. We're doing our top 10 cooperative games, which is our second most viewed video of all time. It's the first one, but we combined lists. We no longer do that.
Those were dark times.
Also, it's been a few years since that list came out, and several really good cooperative games have come out. There's a possibility that some of them have made our lists. Definitely for me. And some co-op games have gone up, and some have gone down for me. It's I don't know. I don't think we're going to have as much crossover as you might think. I think there will be at least 1 or 2 games that will be on all 3 lists, but I don't think there'll be more than 2.
Really?
Yeah, I don't think so because, well, I mean, I know a couple of mine aren't going to show up on your list at all.
Right.
I'm pretty sure only 4 of mine were on the last one.
Yeah, well, you know what? I didn't even look at the last one when I made
Did
this.
not either.
I didn't. I'm just trying to remember.
Well, since we combined them also, I couldn't go back and look at the video.
Yeah.
Well, let's find out what they are. Here we go.
Number 10.
All right, my number 10 is a game that just came out last year, as a matter of fact, and it is a biblically themed game called Commissioned, where you all are taking the role of a different apostle from the New Testament and trying to spread the gospel of Christ throughout the known biblical world at that point. And this is a game that I was turned on to, I guess, 2 years ago this summer. So back at Origins 2014, and it just got published. It was kickstarted and published last year, and it's really I've tried it with a lot of different people, and of course, you know, I guess you could say a closed testing group. I guess, you know, people that I worked with at the school, kids in my youth group, my kids. That type of stuff, and it's gone over famously in all of those different things. And a lot of those people aren't people that normally play board games as a hobby. That's a little bit of a meta. But anyway, Commissioned is a game that I've really come to enjoy a lot, and it has a very strong cooperative element to it. So that's my number 10, Commissioned.
That's going to make no sense in the future.
I know.
Okay.
Nice job.
My number 10 is a game that I would not have considered to have made this list at all until I was going through the cooperative games. And it was not a cooperative game when it came out. An expansion made it cooperative, and that is Orleans Invasion. Orleans is a really fun game. It's a bag building game where you're putting tiles in a bag.
Bags?
A pool building game that uses a bag.
Sewing. Another hobby.
So anyway, that was a fun game, but it was a competitive game. Even if the competitiveness was, I did cooler than you did, and you're not really like,
Look at my bag. I got a cooler bag.
you're not really interacting with each other that much in the game. In Invasion, which was the expansion, they added basically this big cooperative thing where we need to defeat these forces that are coming in, and it's really hard, but it is beatable. And it's just kind of neat. It's kind of like saying, hey, Dominion has a cooperative thing. I would be like, oh, I like to see that. Cooperative deck builders are something I found interesting. A cooperative pool builder. I really, really like this. Will it be on my list in 5 years when we do this again? I don't know. But for now, I'm really enjoying it. That's Orleans Invasion.
Cool. My number 10 is Pandemic: The Cure. This is the dice game version of Pandemic, which it took me a little bit to kind of warm up to it, actually. Maybe because I was a big fan of Pandemic already, and I had heard a lot of hype about it. Mm-hmm. You know, there have been a few early play tests, and the buzz coming out of those tests was, this is amazing. This is the best thing since ever. And so I played it a few times, and I was like, okay, but this is, I was not impressed at the beginning. But then the more I played it, the more I adjusted my expectations to it, and I do appreciate that. Yes, it's luckier than Pandemic, but it's faster, it's simpler to teach, I think. And it's got a nice push your luck element on top of everything else. And so it really, I think it's a great standalone game. It really works. You don't need to be familiar with Pandemic at all or the rest of the line to enjoy this one. So a solid dice-driven co-op game. My number 10, Pandemic: The Cure.
Wow, I'm just surprised it made top 10. I liked the game, and I found it decent, good.
Probably not going to be the only Pandemic game on.
That's what I was thinking. I wonder how many of those games he has that start with the same word.
Let's see.
Alrighty, let's move on.
Contagion, The Cure.
Number 9.
All right, my number 9 is just recently came out. I'm talking about cooperative deck building games, and here's another one, and that is Xenoshift. Xenoshift. One of the reasons that this is a co-op game where you're fighting against these waves of really, really nasty aliens that if just one of them was in the same city as me, I would move. They're really bad. They're horrific.
Yes.
And you're fighting them off with Marines. It's kind of like the movie Starship Troopers. But the reason I like this cooperative game so much is because it encourages cooperation almost more than any other game I know. It's really like, hey, I need your help. And you're like, yeah, you do need my help. Here's a card. I'm throwing this bomb at this stuff. Or then there's sometimes that, I want to help you, but if I help you, my guy might die here. So it's interesting how it works. At the same time, it's not that selfish thing. You can't be selfish because if one person dies,
Right.
everyone is hurt by that. Cool artwork, a cool theme. That's Xenoshift.
All right, my number 9. Speaking of cool artwork and cool theme, this game I think is one of the ones on my list that rocks both of those criteria, and that is Dead Men Tell No Tales. This one is about pirates looting a ship that is burning around you. It's going to sink. So you want to get as much gold or whatever you're looting from it off of that ship. However, the ship is cursed, and you have like undead pirates walking around attacking you and stuff, and you're doing some tile exploration, flipping over tiles to discover the rooms on this ship that's burning. You have to keep the fire at bay as much as possible. There's a lot of sort of things, a lot of balls you got to keep up in the air, which is what I like about it. And it's got a good balance between being thematic, but it's largely a Eurogame style co-op. So I like that combination of all those things. Good looking game, well put together, interesting, engaging, lots of moving parts. That's my number 9. Dead Men Tell No Tales. Arr.
That's cool. Both of those games actually were on my probably 11 through 15.
Wow, I thought Xenoshift would have made your top 10.
Yeah, it almost did, but I just haven't played it as much as it probably was my number 11 because I've played Commission more than Xenoshift, so I thought it deserved the spot on my list rather than Xenoshift. But it is a very good game. I do enjoy it. And Dead Men Tell No Tales, I knew it was going to be on your list because of how much you talked about it recently. But
That's his second Pandemic game he's put on the list so far.
It's very pandemic-y.
It really is.
Pandemic.
All right.
That's Pandemic the Pirate.
burning.
Yeah. My number 9 is a game that it's not necessarily a co-op game per se. It's not the first one that came to my mind, at least, when thinking about co-op, but it definitely has a cooperative nature to it. But then there is a definite single winner, I guess you could say.
Not cooperative.
So it is cooperative.
What's the game?
It has a strong cooperative element. That's Mysterium. You're all trying to find out who did the murder.
Mysterious cooperative.
Yeah, it's cooperative.
It just didn't come to my mind as it.
Well, obviously it came to your mind if you put it down.
Well, of course. It didn't immediately come to my mind. That's what I said. So, but I really do enjoy the game. I've said it before. It kind of gives Dixit a reason to play. Because that's pretty much what it is. You're looking at one guy is giving out pictures to other people that he thinks has a definite message, and that the other people are trying to figure out what that message is and put 2 and 2 together.
Right.
So it gives you a reason to play Dixit, I guess you could say, and it gives a good theme, a good surrounding to play that. So I don't really enjoy Dixit because it's themeless. I enjoyed Mysterium. For the same reason, I guess people would enjoy playing Dixit, but I enjoy playing Mysterium much more.
Okay.
But anyway, my number 9 is Mysterium, a great little game about trying to figure out who performed a murder and how.
I'm starting to think we're going to have very different lists here.
Number 8.
My number 8 is a game that actually I just very recently rekindled my interest for. It's a game I'd liked a lot before and I'd played a lot. I actually kind of burnt out on it. But I just started replaying an expansion to it, and it brought back to mind just how amazing this game is and how much I like it. The game is Legends of Andor. And Legends of Andor is a fantasy setting co-op game in which you have to, it's kind of a dungeon crawl, except it's largely in an open landscape. But you actually have to be careful about just going out and killing everything in your path, because if you do that without concern for the mission at hand, then you're actually quickly advancing an end game trigger. And so you need to
Essentially, it's a puzzle more than a dungeon crawl.
It is. I mean, obviously, as you'll see from most of my games here, I enjoy the puzzlier co-op games, right? But yes, it's very much puzzly, but you have to be careful what it is you do, because doing the wrong thing at the wrong time might seem like a good idea. Like, oh, that guy is going to walk into the castle, I need to go over there and kill him. Yes, maybe. If you kill him, you are speeding up the endgame trigger. And it's just a clever concept. Everything works together really well. Solid, beautiful, interesting. From Michael Menzel is the other thing, who's an artist. His first design. And he just knocked it out of the park with this one. So, my number 8 is Legends of Andor. Awesome game.
Okay. My number 8 is a game, I call it a lock and load co-op game, because that's pretty much what you have to do. Lock and load and then pull the trigger. And that is Carnival Zombie. It's one of my favorite games that would probably be higher on my list if I had more readily, if it was more readily available to play more often. But I just don't. I haven't played it very often, but it is one of the most thematic cooperative experiences that I've come across in those kinds of games, because the waves of zombies just keep coming and coming and coming, and you have to work with everybody else in the party. If one person begins to falter, that is the beginning of the end of this game, because they're coming from all sides, and you have to spread out and take down the zombies from zone to zone. And if one person becomes a hole before those zombies can pour in, it becomes very bad for everyone. So that is my number 8, Carnival Zombie.
I think Carnival Zombie has spoiled us in these type of games, because in Carnival Zombie, we start off with these really cool characters, and you can find even cooler weapons, and it's like, yeah! And then it seems like a lot of cooperative games are like, hey, here's a stick. And you're like, oh, yeah! And then later on they're like, you can have 2 sticks. It's just not the same, you know? There's something about sitting there going, with zombies coming. It just feels fun.
Yeah, that's true.
I like that game a lot. Didn't make my list. All right, our first crossover, although the crossover hasn't happened yet, but that's how confident I am it's on Zee's list or someone's. And that is Dead of Winter. Now, some people don't consider Dead of Winter actually to be a cooperative game.
Sam doesn't.
Because the trader, it's trader versus everyone else, whatever. It's a cooperative game because for the most part you are working together cooperatively. Sure, I know that some people, as the Secret Cabal in particular, have a problem with the fact that you have your own personal mission, and they said that if you don't do your own mission, then you lose and everyone else wins, and that's not fun. I've never found that to be a problem. I certainly try to get my own personal mission, but if I don't succeed in that, but the group wins anyway, I feel like that I've lost, but it was a moral victory because, hey, everyone else survived. I sacrificed myself, but everyone else won.
I don't understand their stick there, because most, if not all, of those personal mission cards says everybody is still alive. Then you have a secondary mission.
Yeah, but then you lose if you don't get that mission done.
That's a semantic. That's semantical at best.
If I don't win, nobody wins.
Well, that's because you're almost always the traitor.
Usually the traitor.
Anyhow, the game is incredibly thematic, and I love the system of someone else, like reading a card, possibly interrupting your turn. That's a cool system. I'm still waiting for the next game in that system, but a very fun game, Dead of Winter.
Number 7.
My number 7 is Freedom, the Underground Railroad, and this one is again, a very puzzly, abstract-ish kind of.
I wouldn't call it abstract. There's a pretty strong theme in that
Well,
game.
no, I meant like the movement and what you must do on your turn. You have to. It's puzzly, I guess, is what I meant. You have to be really careful with how you tackle the system in this game. It's very historically rich. It's got a very stark look to it. It's very well put together package. But your actions in the game are so limited. There is ultimately so little you can do that you really have to be careful about the choices you make, because you make a couple of wrong choices and things start to go wrong. You know what I mean? And so that's what I like about the game. I think it's like a game about conservation of actions. You know, and you have to manage your money. You have to worry about what cards you are buying. There's a lot of things you have to try to do, and only so many you can do. Really interesting game. A wonderful game to be used as a teaching tool as well. If you wanted to introduce some history, say to a kid you want to show the game to, use it as a classroom tool. You know, spectacular game. Really amazing. Freedom, the Underground Railroad. That's my number 7.
Sometimes, you know, we have all these new cooperative games, and lately, I mean, we have so many good cooperative games that come out in a year. We have a best cooperative game from Dice Tower. But some of the classics are still amazing. And my number 7 can play 7 players, and that's Shadows over Camelot, which isn't the first cooperative game, but is the first one I think that really made a splash. Lord of the Rings made a pretty big splash, but Shadows over Camelot, from Days of Wonder, and then it came with this idea of a traitor, which has been copied many times over since. But and the fact you're like, can we really play not a party game that's 7 players? And you can, and it works really well. And even today, yes, I understand there's the whole, you know, you make fun of the poker hands and things in it, and there's some, you know, funky thematic parts to it, but I still, like, yeah, I'll play Shadows. I mean, when we just did our live thing, it was on the short list of games to play, because I was like, yeah, I love that game. It's a lot of fun. Solid. Just very enjoyable. The expansion is, you don't need the expansion. You can get it or leave it. It's not a big deal. But the base game itself, even though people have kind of used the ideas from Shadows and gone different places with those, I mentioned Dead of Winter. I actually think I like Shadows a little bit better, which is why it's higher on my list. Number 7.
My number 7 is a deck builder, I guess you could say. It's the only deck builder on my list, and it is Cooperative Deck Builder Marvel Legendary, where you are all collectively trying to stop the villain and his team of villains, or the nemesis and his team of henchmen villains, trying to destroy each city thing, and you're trying to. There's a little bit of a thematic disconnect there, because you're not playing one specific person or hero within the universe, but you have all of these different kinds of hero cards, and all of those different cards have special abilities, and so you can have a Wolverine card and a Cyclops card and a Iron Man card in your hand, and when you play those cards, it is that hero coming in and taking part in the storyline. So there's a little bit of a thematic disconnect there, but I really enjoy the artwork is beautiful. I enjoy the mechanisms that are in the game, so it had to make my list. My number 7, Marvel Legendary.
So why'd you pick that one, like, let's say, over Aliens?
Because I like the theme a little bit better.
Oh, I thought you were a huge Aliens fan.
I am, but it's something, it'll give my son nightmares if I pull out and play Marvel Aliens, with the pictures and everything that are on that. But I can pull out Marvel Legendary, no problems.
Yeah.
Number 6.
All right, my number 6 is probably the longest game on my list. It has replaced others. I don't play this one nearly as much as I want to because it's lengthy, and that's Eldritch Horror. But I just love the idea of the world romp, whatever. I played it with Zee, too.
Played it twice, just in case the first time was a fluke. It wasn't.
It was. Not. You're right. Because Eldritch Horror is just one of those games that I have fun. It's one of those experiences that, because they've worked so hard at making each game internally consistent. I liked Arkham Horror, but it was like, oh, random thing here, random thing here, random thing here.
Right.
Eldritch Horror still has random stuff happening, but it's happening based on who the final boss is. So, if you're going up against Cthulhu, then Cthulhu shows up, and the daughter of Cthulhu.
I never knew he had a daughter.
See, you learn.
I do. It's important stuff.
But I just love the whole mixing Indiana Jones with horror. It's just enough horror to be kind of cool, but not be too freaky. Some of these cooperative horror games are like, thanks for reading that card. Keep the lights on for all night long. But I love Elder Charter. I'm like a couple expansions behind on it, honestly, because Fantasy Flight's like pumping them out. However, very fun game. So, my number 6, Elder Charter.
My number 6 is probably, I believe it's our first crossover. And it was Tom's number 5, and that is Shadows over Camelot.
I was pretty confident this was on your list.
Be definitely on my list.
It was his 8, by the way, or something like that. You said
It was
5.
7.
We're not at 5.
I'm
yet.
sorry. Yeah, it was a 7.
He's
Sorry.
looking in the future.
It's
my
future
5.
Sam. Eric can have it. Future Eric, I can have a future Sam.
I like it.
And he's also wrong. But anyway, Shadows over Camelot for all the things that Tom just said is the reason that I still put this game on my list. We do not play it as often as we probably would like to, but it is a game that we can pull out in a number of different situations with a number of different kinds of people because it is very simple to play. You can have that higher player count because your turns are over like that. They don't take long at all. It's simply do this or do that and do a bad thing and then do this, whatever. And you're done. So there's a lot of engagement. There's not a lot of downtime in the game. And it's a game that is very pretty, I guess you could say. It has great artwork. He said don't get the expansion, and that's true.
No, I'm not saying don't get it. I'm saying you don't need to get it.
That's what I meant. You don't need to get the Merlin expansion, but I would say if you're not a painter and you don't have time to paint the miniatures, pick up the miniatures, the colored miniatures.
Aren't they like out of print and super expensive now?
Maybe they are, but if you can find a copy, that's something I would say is worthy of getting. It does add to the thematic pull of the game. So that's that. My number 6, Shadows over Camelot.
All right. My number 6 is a game I know is not going to show up on anybody else's list here, and it's a game that I don't think I think it went out of print fairly quickly, and just did not make that big of a splash. But I really enjoy it. The game's Atlantis Rising, and again, very puzzly nature to the game. But this one tackles all of that with a push your luck worker placement combination, in which you are gathering resources and then turning around and trying to pump those resources into parts of a machine you're building, which is going to save the island of Atlantis before it sinks into the ocean. And it's sort of like it's got a nice techno, vibe to it. It's a clever idea with the island made up of tiles that sink from the outside in, and so everything starts to get cramped really quickly. It's really clever. I really enjoy it. I haven't seen anything quite like it come out after it. It's one of the games that gives me the most oh goodness, we're all gonna die feeling right away. Like from the first feeling, from the first round, you'll put out your things and all that, and you go, oh, okay, cool, and then you'll flip over a couple of cards, and like you'll feel like half the island just sank, and you're going, what? We need to build all of this? So. But it's well balanced. It always comes down to the line for me, where I might make it, might not make it, but it's right there. So Atlantis Rising, great balanced thematic game. That is my number 6.
Yeah, this one really was like, whoop, gone.
Hey, man. It's sank under the waves.
I was just thinking, if not for the co-op games that have come out in the last 2 years, that would have made my list.
Really? I liked it. I'm just not as
But
much
there's just so many co-op games that came out in the last 2 years that are really good.
I'm just pleased with the lack of crossover so far. I bet that ends soon.
I got this one played just this year, Atlantis Rising. Still great. Yeah, still great.
Number 5.
All right, my number 5 is a game that I would imagine this is going to be on both of their lists. I believe this is going to be a future crossover. I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure it will be on their list. And that is a game we have recently played the mess out of, and we recorded all of it for you guys. And that is Time Stories. It comes out in different modules, and that's one of the quirks of the game, where the base game only gives you one module. When you play that module, well, you're pretty much done because you can't go back and replay it. I mean, I guess you could after
You're done
a while.
till you go to the store and buy the next one.
You go and buy you have to go and buy the next module, and each module is like around $20-$25. So it's almost like buying an expansion for the game, but you have to buy the expansion to continue playing the game. But I really enjoyed the cooperative nature. Even the first module, which was a little bit too puzzly for my tastes, I still enjoyed the strong thematic cooperative nature of the game, and that's why it made my list of number 5, Time Stories.
All right, what you got here?
All right, my number 5 is, I guess, similar to Sam's in that it is the same game, Time Stories.
Sam can see the future.
Time Stories is, for a lot of the same things that Sam said, it's a great tool almost. It's like this structure in which you can plug in ideas, and then they kind of give you a storytelling, story-driven adventure back at you. It's very smart, and the only reason it's not any higher on my list is because of I can't play it. You know what I mean? Like, I can't go home right now and play this game. Mm-hmm. Which is fine. Not every game needs to be the same thing, and I like that this game is exploring new ground. It's really cool. But, I'm done for now until they come out with something new. Yeah. But this game has made for some of the best gaming experiences I have had in gaming, bar none. So,
And they were with us.
I know.
No, I got my own copy and I played with a different group. But you guys were fun too. My number 5, Time Stories.
I wonder how long they're going to be able to keep that going.
I don't know.
I hope it can be for a long time because those modules are really cool.
Yeah.
My number 5 is definitely not on Zee's list. I don't know if it's on Sam's, but it is a game that's he should have put on his list because it's basically fantasy pandemic, and that's Defenders of the Realm. Defenders of the Realm, I love this from the moment I first played it. Having 4 armies marching in. I love the fact that each character you picked was very different than the others. The barbarian goes crazy. The one guy can fly around. The magician can use portals. I like that when you got to the final bosses and fought them, it felt like an epic fight.
Yeah.
And each of the different bad guys had their own thing. One's like popping up everywhere. The other ones are harder to kill. There's a lot of different little mini expansions. There's a dragon expansion and all that. The graphic design of the board could use a slight overhaul. They should burn it and just redo it. But the game is still a lot of fun. Great one, Defenders of the Realm.
Not on my list, but definitely on my short list. It was one of the ones that I wrote down.
Was it in your top 200?
Yeah, of course. Are there 200 co-ops?
I don't know.
No, I think it's just, I like the idea. It's just too long for me.
Yeah, by which you mean sometimes it goes to 20 minutes.
Number 4.
My number 4 is a game that just came out last year. Hated. Well, didn't hate the whole part of the original version. I hated a few parts of the original version, which gave me a great aversion to it. And but they fixed those problems, added in a few bells and whistles, and it's my number 4 on Co-op Games, and that is Zombicide Black Plague.
Oh,
Zombicide Black Plague. Really enjoyed it.
Go watch our overrated video.
Yes, please do, because I'm upfront about this to the extent that I can be. I hated that game because of 2 or 3 things, and it just didn't make sense. The original came out when a truckload of zombie games were coming out, and they all pretty much had that post-apocalyptic thing to it, where it was just like a vanilla theme almost. The miniatures were good, yeah, but that's about all it had going for it. And then there were a few rules things that I just said, that is dumb. It's stupid. They fixed all of that. They put a different theme on it. It's a medieval zombies theme back in the Black Plague. That's what they called it. And they're using medieval weapons, magicians, dwarves, elves, freaky bloodthirsty nuns, and it's a really cool step in the right direction.
My top 10 games of Bloodthirsty Nun.
Not having to target somebody on your own team with a ranged weapon first. You don't have to do that anymore. Sure, you can house rule it, but you should not have to house rule games in order to enjoy them. But anyway,
Here, brother. Here,
my
here.
number 4 is Zombicide Black Plague.
I did not hate Zombicide. I thought it was a fine game. I didn't love it. There was problems with it, but I do like Black Plague better.
And I really like Black Plague too, and this is not even remotely my typical kind of game.
Right.
So I gotta give it big props. It was my 27. I didn't go that high. No.
My number 4 may not show up on Sam's list because he's still not yet played it.
Cold.
And that is Robinson Crusoe.
Take a nap for a little bit.
Love this game. Love the strong theming. I love the fact that there's in the box, I believe, 5 different games because each scenario has an incredibly different feel. Maybe 7.
6 maybe?
I don't know. There's enough really for you to have
There's
different
more
things.
out there also for it.
The mechanism in the game, which I've still not seen used somewhere else, where you find a card and you get something and then that card gets stuck in an event deck and so you find some eggs and steal them and later on the mama comes back to get you. That sort of thing. I really like that. So more complex than any of the other games on my list other than maybe the Orleans Invasion game, but pretty solid.
Cool. All right, my number 4 is Pandemic Legacy. And again, this was another
You're back.
game. He's back, baby. This was another game we played recently and played like you said, the whole mess out of. And it's a spectacular game. It's a spectacular experience. It's about as close as I think I've gotten to a movie in a box that you go through and make choices in, and then the story reveals itself to you.
Poor choices on your half. But
Yes, definitely. Again, it might be higher if I could go home and play some of it right now. I guess technically you could, but since it is so strongly themed and such a unique experience, you sort of consume it and then you're done till I guess they release another one. But still, that does not take away from how much fun I had with this movie, with this game. It's like watching a great movie with a twist ending.
You did it!
Well, I was thinking of saying, it's like watching a movie with a great twist ending. The second time you see it,
Now
can
you know
still
how I
watch
feel.
it.
That's what I do every single time I do that.
Yeah, but you do it about movies.
I know I do it backwards.
Yeah.
So that's the same thing, just a different direction.
I'm going to say a different thing for everyone now.
You do it.
My favorite
my favorite puzzle.
sandwich. All right, so Pandemic Legacy is my number 4.
Number 3.
My number 3 was my number 1, I think, last time we did this. Yeah, but I still really love this game, and that is Ghost Stories. Here comes the ghosts marching in. You're fighting them off. Similar feel almost to
BC.
no, what's that one? Yeah, not Besieged. That is not in our top 10. To the one that you were just talking about, the zombie one, Carnival Zombie.
Carnival Zombie.
Yeah, a similar idea. It's the tower defense. We're sitting here, but these monks. They're jumping around. They're using different tiles. The ghosts all have some different powers. There's always that one ghost shows up, and you're like, oh, the Black Widow. I hate her with a passion.
Yeah.
And I think there's 2 of them in the thing.
There's a lot of, there's the one that bring out another one, so you flip one and you're like, oh, now that brings out 2, and if the second one is one of those, oh no!
There's certainly luck in the game with rolling the dice, but there are many ways to mitigate that luck. I find it enjoyable when the big, giant, bad ghost comes out at the end, or if you're playing the nightmare scenario, you can have multiples of those, which I don't understand because the basic game is hard enough. I love it. I love White Moon. It's a great expansion. It adds in another layer, almost feels like a different game. And then Black Secrets is a decent expansion. It's not as good as White Moon, but there's a lot of stuff in the game, and the artwork, phenomenal artwork. Scary, and yet not too scary. I don't know how to explain it.
No, I think it's just...
It's like B-movie scary, I guess.
Yeah, right.
So, Ghost Stories, my number 3.
All right, my number 3... go back to taking a nap a little bit there, Sam. Robinson Crusoe is my number 3 for all the same things that Tom said. Really, it's pretty complex, and normally this much complexity pushes me out a little bit. I want a game that I can get up to speed and throw down on the table and get going a little faster. But this is worth it because it is a nice balance between the cinematic, the story-driven, and the clean mechanisms of a Euro-style game. And so I'm a big fan of games that bridge both of those things. I don't like one extreme too much. I don't like the other extreme too much. So this one nails it and still is scenario-driven, which is what's amazing about it. And they could keep pumping out scenarios, and each one really does feel different. What you need to accomplish feels different. Gathering stuff, eating, surviving, fighting animals. I mean, as I explain the game to you, you'd think this is like a role-playing game, where this is like just an American-style game, but it's really an amalgamation of both systems. So, Robinson Crusoe, awesome game, my number 3.
Although, oddly enough, this does fit in my category earlier where they say, here's a stick.
Yeah.
Because you don't get much.
It's a survival game for sure, yeah.
All right, what do you got?
I'm just going to say that of my top 4 games, these guys have played them multiple times. So as high as that game is on our list, it is a criminal act that I have not played that game.
But we have Stretch Gold, our Kickstarter. It's going to be taught to you live.
It's still a criminal act that I have not yet played it.
All right.
I'm going to wear a mask when I teach it to you, like a criminal.
No, you should wear the mask.
I am.
You two are the criminals not sharing this game.
This analogy's not working, guys. All right, go ahead.
Anyway, my number 3, a game that has already been mentioned on Healey's.
We still have not had a 3-way crossover yet.
There's still 2 more, and if this one is not on your list,
Then you're a criminal
I
act.
will cry foul because
Okay.
Go. What is
just
it?
saying, Pandemic Legacy.
I've never played that
This is
game.
my number 3. Shut up, Tom. I mean, yeah, both of you.
I called you Tom.
You made a mistake
I did.
also.
Another one. Pandemic Legacy is, we played this, it's probably one of the only games in existence that I have played 12 times in a 2-week period.
I believe it was 17, but
Well, I mean, which
Oh, no,
would
we
also
took-
include 12.
no.
Not wrong.
I'm just saying.
Who's the math teacher at the table? Who? He's not wrong.
So anyway, 12,
Nice
17
job,
times.
Sam.
There has been a game that I've played 11 times, and so I had to say it.
Just go on.
You don't want to stop me. So I have not played this game as much as I have any other game within a 2-week period. Is that better? Thank you. And that is one of the reasons why it made this list and so high on this list, because yeah, we kind of did it for work, but I wasn't complaining because I enjoyed every single minute of that whole experience, and it does have a very thematic, cinematic draw to it, where it is this overarching storyline, and I think
Don't spoil it.
I don't. Yeah, that's what I'm having trouble with. I really do think that it's going to be just as good when season 2 comes out.
Mm-hmm.
I don't see that they were going to drop the ball at all.
Actually, I'm going to go out on
So
a
I'm
limb and
looking
say it will
forward
be
to it.
better the second season because they'll take the feedback from the first one and implement it. I bet you.
Yeah, but anyway, my number 3, Pandemic Legacy, a gloriously cool game.
Number 2.
I think I know what your number 1 is. I'm not sure what your number 2 is.
You think you know what my number 1 is? I love it.
Well, if it is what we think it is,
Well, see, I actually
that's going
thought
to be 3 of those puppies on one list.
I actually thought
so you
Pandemic
actually only had
Legacy
to come up
was
with
gonna be your number 1.
7 games.
You think
No, I
would
thought
like
it- yeah, I thought
Pandemic
it-
Legacy more?
Yeah, I thought Pandemic Legacy is number 1.
Regular Pandemic is going to be on it.
Okay, what's your number
All
2?
right, well, my number 2, which is the one you're apparently not guessing, is on your list, has been on your list already. It's a game I've...
It must be Shadows then.
Time Stories.
He already said Time
Oh, he
Stories.
already said
I
Time
said
Stories.
it.
That's
No.
right. That's right. That's right.
Shadows?
No, Ghost Stories.
Oh, Ghost Stories, duh.
Yeah.
So that means Shadows probably isn't going to be on your list because I know you like Ghost Stories better than Shadows.
This is 2, brother.
Right, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, it's not on the list.
That's what I'm saying.
I was like, probably. No, definitely not. It would have been maybe in the 15 and up. I mean,
So it's dropping for you, but as time goes
Shadow's
by.
all right. I never liked it as much as you guys did. I think it's a
okay.
fine game, but you both enjoyed it always way more than I did. Ghost Story's my number 2. Tom already talked about it. Really good, puzzly. This one definitely is a very puzzly game where you are, yes, rolling dice, yes, drawing random ghosts, but the game is largely about, if you want to win anyway, which is super tough, or try to win, is largely about mitigating those lucky aspects of the game, and I think that's very cool. The dual nature of fighting the ghosts or taking an action to prepare to fight the ghosts, which always feels like you're wasting your turn. You're not, but because you flip a ghost, you're like, ah! And this turn, I'm just going to go over here and grab a Buddha. And that's it. And you're like, man, I did nothing this turn, you know. You won 3 actions every round in that game. And that's what I like about it. It's that game that from the word go, you feel like you're drowning. And then you drown. I like that. I like that tense aspect to it. And the whole package just works really well together. So, my number 2, Ghost Stories. Way cool game.
All right.
My number 2 is a game that...
I know what your number 1 is. I don't know what your number... Oh, no, never mind. Your number 1 and 2 are very similar, I bet.
Yeah, they are.
Yeah. Okay, I got
They
it.
are very similar. My number 2, however, has actually slipped back from my number 1 space.
They switched out?
Yeah, they switched out this time. Because, not for any real reason, I guess. It's just that I think I've played my number 1 more than I have played my number 2. They're probably
Say one of them. I'm
pretty
lost.
equal. They're equal. If you know me, you're not lost. So you don't know me.
Lost.
They're probably pretty equal here, and that my number 2 is Battlestar Galactica.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
My number 2 is Battlestar Galactica. I truly enjoy this game. It has everything. I've been a fan of Battlestar Galactica way back since the original series, and even though I don't remember watching it back then. When I was a kid, I did catch reruns of it, and I've been watching Battlestar Galactica ever since. And I really enjoy the TV show, but I think even without the TV show, knowing the TV show gives you a better sense of what's going on in the game, but you don't have to know the TV show to enjoy the game. I like the mechanisms that are in the game and everything that goes with it. The tension between who's a Cylon, who isn't a Cylon, just really pulls that experience together for me. It was my number 1, but my current number 1 is a little bit better for me currently. That is my number 2, Battlestar Galactica.
My number 2 has already been mentioned on Sam's list. I love the Marvel Universe. Marvel Legendary. Love this game. Love the 600 trillion kabillion combination. I mean, it's really, the combination is just astronomical at this point because they keep coming out with more sets with more masterminds and more villains and more heroes, and I love it. I love mixing it together. It really rocketed up when they introduced Marvel villains because I liked being able to make my dream teams of, hey, Magneto's now a good guy working with Iceman, and the bad guy is Professor X because he's gone crazy, which you can do in the Marvel Universe because that's kind of happens all the time. This guy was good, and but a few issues ago, he was a mass murderer, but he said he was sorry, so now he's good. that sort of thing all the time happens, which is really weird.
Yeah, but who cares? They then go and explode the universe and start again, and you're supposed to just forget all that stuff.
Right. So if everything gets too messed up, we're like, okay, hang on. Okay, we're done. Let's go back to the beginning. But I still love it. The artwork's great. The game is fun. I played as a pure co-op. None of this one person wins nonsense. And that's the best way, I think. So, Marvel Legendary, my number 2.
Cool.
And finally, number 1.
Rolling. Here we go. I'm feeling it today.
Give me that
9.
20. Okay, I'll take a 17. What?
Take it, buddy!
I got a 19.
All right, 19. Let's just go straight down. We'll go with you first.
Oh, yeah, I know what both yours are.
I know what both of yours are too, I think.
Do you know what mine is?
I think so. I wrote it down. I'll find out.
All right.
All right, my number one is Pandemic. Pandemic has been my number one game for some years now.
It was actually his number one game before it came out. That's how much he likes it.
Beginning of time.
No. I mean, I remember I jumped on Pandemic. I mean, I literally bought that game the week it came out.
Jump on it?
I jumped
Literally?
on it. Crushed
He ran over it with his car, I think was the story.
That was very ejaculative. Don't worry about it. No, and right from the beginning, I really liked it, and it's only grown on me more and more with time, really. And when the expansion started to come out, I got that expansion day one, the first one, and I was like, oh my god, more characters. Now there's all these other. Look at these new events, and look at this way to play, and it was just amazing. It's just the perfect balance of game length, game involvement, ease of play, ease of teachability, thematic involvement. It just checks off all these boxes for me. So Pandemic is my favorite co-op game and my favorite game of all time so far. So that's my number one.
I'm kind of surprised you don't have either of the Forbidden games on your list. As much Leacock love as you.
Forbidden Desert's 12.
Okay. All right. So what's my number one, Sam?
I think it's Time Stories.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking too.
Yes. Now, you may wonder why Pandemic Legacy is not on my top 10. It's my number 11. I liked Pandemic Legacy a lot, but I'm done. While Time Stories, it's like, woo! If I knew...
So you're not going to get Season 2 when it comes out.
Oh, yeah. I'm really pumped about it. But
It's not going to be a different game.
no, but again,
different setting.
being my number 11 is not a bad thing. There's a lot of cooperative games. This was not so easy to make the top 10. There was a lot of great ones. Time Stories, though, if I knew there was a new plug-in for Time Stories, I would stop everything and play it. I would. I really would. That's how much I love that system. I had so much fun playing it. The fantasy one, I know it exists, and it's driving me nuts that I don't have it yet. Really want to play that one when the Egyptian one comes out. I don't care what the theme is at this point in time. Now, if they start making bad modules, maybe I'll slow down on it. But for right now, it's just like, oh, and then we're done playing. I'm like, all right, I'm ready to play again. And I don't mind that whole and going back and doing things again because, first of all, I think this game has proved to all three of us that our memories are pretty bad. Because when we paused for 2 weeks between the Marcy
we took a little
case,
break and then it was like, have we been here before? Who's this guy? No, it was bad.
I mean, that's like remembering details from a document.
yeah, except that there was
later.
but it was again.
Good, though. That's not a bad thing.
I think that's normal. I don't think it's
Well,
bad.
either way, what I'm saying is,
Exactly.
it was very well. It is documented online how bad our memory is. Like, what happened to these guys between this game? But still fun, and both the scenarios so far have been so different in how they feel.
Right.
I'm really pumped about this. Love this. My number one, Time Stories. Very excited about where it may lead, and I believe it is the only three-way crossover that we've had on these lists.
Well, yeah, because you cheesed out on your number one. Legacy should have been on your list. How much
It's
you
number
like
11. Number 11.
Should have been on your list, right?
Well, so should. I don't understand why Robinson Crusoe wasn't on your list.
Oh, that's a low blow. That's not okay.
That's too soon.
That's not okay. Too soon, man.
All right, my number one. Last time we did this, last time I guess
Back when we were friends.
it would have been not as high. Battlestar Galactica would have definitely been my number one. But this game has come out since we've done that list, and so Dead of Winter is my number one. I truly enjoy I don't see how having a traitor in a group takes away from the cooperative nature of it. It is still a cooperative game, and even the
Well, it's good because you
traitor-
got 3 games on your list that have that in them.
I know, that's what I'm saying. But that's what I'm saying, though. Even the traitor is playing cooperatively to keep himself hidden. It is still a cooperative game. And sure, he can try to pull the Hail Mary, so to speak, and pull off the win for himself, but he still has to play the majority of the game in a cooperative sense to keep himself hidden. So having a traitor not making this a cooperative game, that's a weak, at best, argument for me. So I think it definitely deserves all three of these kinds of games that are on my list deserve spots on a list like this because the cooperative element is so strong with it. So I just enjoy the storytelling aspect of it. I like actually how it's a zombie game, but the zombies are kind of a backseat. It's all about the different characters and how they're interacting with one another. I've said that a lot about this game so far because that's one of the things that I really enjoy about it. It's not a zombie game where there has to be blood and gore everywhere for it to pull together that theme. It does it just based upon the setting and how each of the characters are working together. So I knew this was going to be very high on my list. It was kind of a surprise for me to make that decision to put it over Battlestar Galactica, but I think it's worthy. And it doesn't take away from Battlestar Galactica at all because they are very, very equal in my opinion. It's just that for this list and for currently right now, definitely my number one, Dead of Winter.
Now let me ask you this, Sam. Would a game like Fury of Dracula have been okay on this list? Where it is cooperative. It's all versus one is what this game style is called.
Yeah.
Because one guy is definitely not cooperating ever.
I'm gonna say no because if we do that, we have to include every dungeon crawl where there's a
that would put Descent into the mix.
Right.
I would say no. One versus all is different than cooperative.
Okay.
The traitor is technically one versus all, but he's acting as if he's cooperative,
Right,
so it's a very different game.
And that's how I feel about it. It's,
Okay. Cool. Nice.
All right. And besides, your number one has a traitor in it too, with one of the expansions.
No, it's all versus one.
Oh, that's right. He's playing against everybody. Very different game. All right. Well, those are our top 10 cooperative games. What are yours? Let us know in the comments.
Yes.
Until next time, I'm Tom Vasel.
I'm Zee Garcia. Thank you, folks.
Sam Healey, see you on the flip side.